guys, Silverline here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions All-Stars 4.0 Tibius. That's right, yours truly has already gotten his hands on the recently shipped, is it released? I don't know. Recently shipped wave of Mythic Legions figures, which is All-Stars 4.0. And if you don't know what that is, the Horsemen will throw up a batch of characters for us, the fans, to vote on who gets into the wave. And the ones with the most votes, typically about 4, are reproduced because some of us didn't get in on this line when it first started. So now, thanks to the All-Stars waves, people like me, Tibius, most people I know who missed out on that original Kickstarter can get some of these older characters, which I think is freaking fantastic, and something a lot of other toy companies do. They just don't do a whole bang-up wave of them. And Tibius here was one of my most wanted figures from this line, particularly from this faction, because you guys know me, the skeletons are my bread and butter. I am Team Necronominus all the way when it comes to this line, and this guy wraps up the triad of awesome, and he is in good company with Malleus and Brother Mandibulus. So I am super happy to get my hands on this guy finally. It seems like forever, but hey, you know, sometimes this stuff is worth the wait, right? And the reason I got mine early is because I'm awesome. No, it's because I live on the East Coast. 4 Horsemen are based in Jersey. But there's a trade-off. If you live on the West Coast, you get to find all the stuff at retail earlier than most people. But if you live on the East Coast, you get your Mythic Legions pre-orders sooner than most people. So there's a trade-off. I think I'll take the latter. So getting into the meat and taters of this review, he comes with a couple of, as I throw it off to the side, comes with a couple of accessories not on his person. He has the standard belt piece, which is the only loose belt I have, and I don't even think it's from anyone in this wave. Or is it? No, it's not. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. He comes with this. Standard stuff, though. And then he comes with the skull head, with the opening and closing mouth. Now, I will say the one thing I wish they did on this skull head, since this is an alternate release or a quote-unquote variant release, is I wish they painted the red stripes on it, did they? Let's make sure they didn't before I say it. I wish they did that, and they totally did. I don't think they did. I can't see them, so I'm going to say they didn't. Visually impaired, what do you want for free? But I think that would have been kind of cool if they painted those on there. I don't know, maybe I'll have someone go and do that, but he is missing a tooth, and I think Tibius is a little bit cleaner looking as far as the skeleton goes, because he's got this nice shiny metallic armor, metallic silver armor to be exact. And even though he is, according to his bio, one of the oldest skeletons in the army of Necronominus, I think he likes to present himself a little bit of a higher standard as compared to Brother Mandibulus, who gets down and dirty in the pits, if you know what I mean. But pulling him up. And like the Arethyr wave, I'm gonna leave the shoulder pads and capes and things on the figures when I do this initial part of the review, because it just saves time. I could sit here and go through all the accessories and then show you them with all the accessories on all day long, but you guys know this stuff by now, especially if you are a excuse me, an avid viewer of this channel. But as far as his other accessories go, he comes with 2 swords. This one has a red handle. Then this one has a, it's kind of an invert, has a silver handle with a bit of a black hilt. So I don't know if this guy's like General Grievous. He takes swords off of people he's destroyed or killed in battle. That's kind of cool. Then he comes with this dagger, which has a red handle again. And he comes with this other dagger, which has a black handle. And then he also has this nice cape, which is all tattered and torn and very distraught. I kind of have it folded up in the back here just so it's not as cumbersome, but you know, you can do whatever you want with it. But this is a nice thicker anyways, kind of material. Kind of like Vorgus. I wouldn't say it's as thick as Vorgus. It seems like this is in between Vorgus and the capes we're used to seeing, which is made out of that really, I think it's kind of chintzy fabric, but thanks to CJESM, should be getting some better capes in the near distant future, particularly in that Alithia wave. But this is in between that, and I do prefer this over the other kind of capes still. I just like the thicker material. It's not as flimsy feeling. And the holes on the back are actually big enough for the pegs in the shoulders. So there you go. Or the shoulder pads, excuse me. The holes in the cape are big enough for the pegs in the shoulder pads, if I could say it correctly. So this cape was really easy to peg in, which I appreciate very much so. Dude's throwing the white balance off like nobody's business. But then he's got this new nifty belt piece. Well, it's not new. At least not to him it isn't. It's new to me because I've never had this piece before. It's like the skirts we're used to seeing. Particularly, do I have one handy? Let's see, I'm going off camera here. See if I got one. Kind of like this. This is the Skeleton Legion builder. He's got these side skirts, kind of like samurai skirts going on. And then there's another kind that Malleus uses that kind of end in a point. But on this guy, it's as if they cut those off and replaced them with these little knife holders, which is freaking sweet, man. I wish I had these on my Carpathius because I do the twin dagger thing on him. And this would have been really nifty for that character, but oh well. As far as I know, this is the only character that has these too, so I don't know if we'll be seeing this piece in the future or what. But I really dig this belt piece. I think that's really nifty. So, articulation on this guy, it's the standard Mythic Legion stuff. His head will look up and down, tilt a little bit, side to side. His neck will also rotate because it's a separate piece. He's got the gorget here, but it's the more kind of good guy looking one, along with the shoulder pauldrons and the gauntlets and boots. He's pretty much got the good guy armor going on, which is kind of funny because this dude's supposedly like evil as all hell, but he's got this goody two shoes looking armor on. But let's take a look see at that head sculpt quick. Because I don't have a lot of these skulls with a closed mouth that is permanently closed. I love this head sculpt, man. This is probably the best skeleton head sculpt in action figures, period. I don't think it gets much better than that. Other than Brother Mandibulus, but he has a helmet. This is just a straight up skull. Well, I do like the alt head with the hinged jaw. Again, it doesn't have those red stripes on it, and missing a tooth. So it seems a little bit more specific to someone like Malleus, who is the only one I have with that head on at the moment. But going over the rest of his articulation, his arms will move forward and back. They will move out and back down. He's got a single joint at the elbow with rotation. He's got a swivel at the glove or the gauntlets, as well as a hinge in the wrist with a swivel at the wrist, which is a little sticky at times. I will say the elbow rotation on this guy is a little bit looser than I'm used to seeing, especially on this side. But it doesn't seem like it's going to pop out, so that's whatever. He's got the ball jointed waist, which works fine. He's got the T-jointed hips, which kick forward, back, out to the side, then back down. You're going to want to grab these from up here because it's a little bit easier to move that way, and you don't risk stressing or breaking anything down here. Then he's got a hinge at the knee with rotation, as well as a swivel at the boot or foot with a hinge and a rocker. And of course, you guys know the drill with Mythic Legions. They're all modular. Even the elbows, to an extent, if you heat up the upper arm, you could probably pop the elbow out and swap it out with something if you really wanted to. I don't believe they're really meant to come out, but they can with a little bit of effort. But I'm sure if you're a customizer, you already knew that. But with that being said, let's get this guy geared back up and take a look at some comparisons. First up here is Tibius next to a couple of other Mythic Legions figures, just so you get an idea of body size and type. We got the Skeleton Soldier, who I believe was only released in Advent of Decay up to this point, who utilizes that thinner, more feminine body style, although with this figure you can have both male and female skeleton soldiers because it comes with an alternate torso. I went with the male one, mostly because I only have one, and I like that torso a little better. But as you can see, it is just a tad bit shorter than Tibius here. And then we also have the Skeleton Legion Builder, who was re-released in the second All-Stars wave, but will be released again in the Mythic Legions Reinforcements wave, which is a bunch of reissued Legion builders. He's one of the ones that won the poll that they had earlier this year for that. So you'll be able to go and get one, hopefully, fingers crossed. It's supposed to be quote-unquote evergreen, but we know how that goes, right? But, as you can see, him and Tibius use most of the same parts with the exception of the shoulder pauldrons, the gorget, and the belt. Other than that, they are pretty much the same figure, right down to the head sculpt. It's just that the Legion Builder, of course, does not have the red stripes on it. Next up, we got a couple figures that most of you are probably more accustomed to, just because they are available at retail, unlike Mythic Legions, which is mostly pre-order based, I'll say. Yeah, you could get lucky during an in-stock sale, but the best way to get these is through a pre-order, so I'm going to push that this week. Pre-order, pre-order, pre-order if you want these. That is the best way to get them. But, that being said, we have the Hasbro Marvel Legends Ultron from the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave. Then we have the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Dr. Fate as he appeared in Injustice 2. I gotta say that Dr. Fate is freaking huge, first of all. I did not think he was that tall, and then I put him next to Tibius here, so he is really freaking tall. I would say, if anything, Mythic Legion scale, pretty good with Marvel Legends. You could probably use them with Multiverse, but I believe they're meant to be more of a 6-inch scale line, so there's that. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, Mr. Brother Mandibulus himself, mascot of the channel. Only released in Advent of Decay at this point, as far as I know, but that was technically released twice, wasn't it? I believe so, because I got in on a second pre-order to get him. And then, of course, we have the MK11 Spawn, who stands a little bit taller than Tibius here, but he stands taller than everybody, doesn't he? Much like Dr. Fate's doing now, but getting him out of the way here. This is a moment in time that I've been waiting oh so patiently to finally be able to do. And now that we're here, we can finally do it. Here is the triad of the dead together forever, as it should be. Yeah, Malleus is standing a little bit off to the front, to the side, but dang it, man, if that's not cool. Finally got the top three skeletons I wanted from this line. So glorious. But with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and if you haven't guessed it by now, I am absolutely over the freaking moon to finally have this figure. This is easily my favorite figure from this All-Stars wave. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Do not ask me any more questions. This is it right here, right now. This guy is awesome. I love this figure. Yes, he's going to be receiving some VIP treatment at the end of the year. Stay tuned to know what that is, because, well, Malleus is on the same boat. Brother Mandibulus too, maybe. Ooh, what does that mean? We'll find out eventually. Eventually. But, with that being said, if you are at all interested in collecting Mythic Legions, this is definitely one to get. He's one of the main skeletons. He looks freaking awesome. Head kind of looks like a baseball, which is funny. I didn't point that out earlier, but it does. I mean, look at it. It's white with red stripes up the sides. It's a freaking baseball. Anyone at Four Horsemen Studios a baseball fan? I'm curious. I believe football, but I don't think I've ever heard baseball before. But I digress. Yeah, you need this thing. That's all I'm going to say. You need this. This is 100% you need this. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions, as well as the Mythic Legions Cabal over on Facebook and Instagram. Join in all the Mythic Legions fun. Be a part of the community, dang it. But don't be salty. Nobody likes salty. And as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.